Namaskar. Welcome to Prakash on Basics. As I told you last time, the number of Vedic gods exceeds 500. The gods with more suktas are invoked more often, and so they are obviously more important as far as the Vedas are concerned. From the multitude of these Vedic gods, let's know about some that are not so familiar nowadays, but important as far as Vedas are concerned. We often know their names, but know a little less about their details. Today, I'll do that, provide the necessary details, the basic ones. Uh, let's begin with the most important, the Indra. In the Rigveda, there are 250 suktas about Indra. That works out to be 6,000 mantras. So obviously, he's very important. He's described in the Indra Sukta, the Sukta specially designed for his description. He has immense wealth and power. He has stabilized the earth. With his seven rays, he has started the seven rivers that flow. Vrutra is the entity blocking light and waters. So Indra is in constant conflict with Vrutra. So one of his names is Vrutra Hana, the destroyer of Vrutra. That also is his major responsibility to defeat Vrutra and free the waters blocked by him. Basically, he ensures that there is a good water supply and good rains. He brings prosperity to everyone. That's obvious. Rains mean more grain. That would lead to more wealth. He is also called Purandara, destroyer of cities of Rakshasas, the enemies of gods. He is said to have beautiful lips, a beard, a huge body frame. His enemies are the first I mentioned, Rutra, Ahi, Shambar, and Val. Destroying them frees water as well as light. He is capable of traveling in all the three lok that we mentioned last time. And his friends are the Marudgand, the various winds, and Vishnu, the one who travels in the sky. He is said to have cut the wings of mountains and stabilized them on earth. His favorite drink is the somras, and he gets unruly when he gets intoxicated by this drink. He is said to have broken the chariot wheel of the sun god also. He has a different meaning associated with him in his name that is used in the Rigveda. He is called Vijin, the seed implanter for the plants as well as for humans. So he is associated with fertility. This has also led to some of the tales related to his immorality that are talked of not only in the Rigveda but also later on. He brings wealth, so obviously he brings power, and he has a lot of clout, so he is named the king of gods. He has other names too. He is called Vajrabahu, Vajrahasta, the one with very strong arms, or on whose arms rests the Vajra. The Vajra obviously is the thunderbolt that is used as his weapon. There's a tale related to one a Rishi called Dadishi who provided his bones to form this powerful tool that is used by Indra. Uh, he is a dominant god in the Antariksha, that is the second lok, and Along with wind, god Vayu, he dominates this region. Some of the original avatars were associated with Indra, but later on they got transferred to Vishnu. I'll come to that when I talk of Vishnu sometime later. His importance gradually reduced as time went by. The second major god is Agni, the fire god. He has 200 suktas, and the Rigved's first sukta itself is the Agneya Sukta. He has roughly 2000 mantras referring to him, and many of them are converted to a form of a variety of songs in meter in the Samved. Actually, he is the only god form that we can directly come in contact with on a regular basis. We must also remember that Ved depends on Yajna and the Yajna depends on Agni. So no Agni, no fire, no Yajna, no Yajna means no Vedas. So everything is linked to him. Agni then is the indispensable part of all karma kanda or the rituals that we have talked of. Uh, the word Agni is also referred to as Agrani, which also means the first. Naturally, you start a yajna, the first thing you do is to light the fire. He is also then at the apex of everything. So he is like the tip and therefore is used to represent many other gods and other persons. He is therefore a leader as an Agrani, the king, the guru, the sun. So many of them are referred to along with his name. In the Rigved, I told you that it is made up of mandals, and every mandal or a chapter begins with an Agni Sukta. That's the first offering that is made. How does he look like? Uh, he has a beautiful face, a beard, sharp, shining teeth. His back, mouth, and hair are all made of gruta, which means ghee, obviously something that will catch fire. Uh, he in his right in the first mantra or the Rusha of Rigved, he is called the priest of the gods. He has many names, and these are in accordance with his form and functions. He is called as Havyavahan. I told you that last time. He is the mouth for the gods and transports all the offerings made to the gods through him from the yajna. He is called Saptajiva. Sapta is seven, Jiva is tongues. So the one with seven tongues, and those are the flames that we know of. He's called the Sarvadeva Mukha, that is the mouth of all gods. He's called Jwala Kesh, that means whose hair are flames. He's called Rohitashva, a horse, bright red in color. He's called Hiranyareta, gold sperm, whose core and the essence is as good as gold. He is called Yavishtha, the one of perpetual energy, one who is constantly young, a burning fire that is started off. He is the dominant god of Prithvi Lok, that is the earth. In the Rigved period, which is the beginning of the civilization here, um, life without fire was unimaginable. So Agni as a god, was most important, and his importance was unavoidable. I used a term Mahodev last time. Remember the definition? That also seems to fit in the form of Agni that we know of. He's also talked of many times in combination with other gods, the important ones. He is linked to Indra, so Indra Agni, Surya Agni, that is linked with Surya, and many others too. Uh, the priests of the Atharva Ved are called Atharvins, and they are nothing but priests. So fire was important right through the Atharva Ved also. Let's look at the next dominant god in the Rigveda, and that is Som. He has 100 suktas assigned to him. Initially, Som meant a plant, the Somavalli. It's also an extract of this plant known as the Somaras. Much later in the Atharva Ved, he is referred to as the moon. This plant is found in the mountains, in the heaven, in the Swarga. Rigved gives us the way in which this Somras is to be extracted. Somras is supposed to be a prime medicine, Amrut, the elixir of life. The ninth mandal and the 114th Sukta of the Rigved is known as the Soma Sukta, and a complete yajna separately associated to him, to this particular god form, is known as the Soma Yaga. It is believed that the plant ephedra is the same plant as the Som plant. There is no confirmation as such. It is quite likely that the original plant may have become extinct because of its overuse in yajnas and other areas. As I told you some time back, Indra loves this drink and gets intoxicated and unruly drinking this somaras. It is a part of a major Havir Dravya, that is one of the major offerings that is made and given to gods. It's a highly valued plant. Its extract gives immortality to gods, as I mentioned some time back. Um, it is said to affect your thoughts and your speech. Making somaras was a major task of the Rutvijas during the preparations for any yajna. Much later, in the Atharva Ved, Som is then referred very often as the moon. His number and dominance is because of the number of suktas that are assigned to him. Somras is also supposed to remove all possible ailments possessed by anyone. That brings us to the next set of gods. Set because they are a pair, the Ashwini Kumar, twins. There are 50 suktas associated with them. They're believed to have wings and they're supposed to be very beautiful. They are said to have given honey to the bees. In the various samskaras, one of the samskars known as the Garbha Samskar, in the conception samskar, the Ashwini Kumars are invoked and praised. They are said to be fertility experts. They are the children of Rudra and they are therefore doctors. They are prayed for youth, for a fruitful marriage in terms of having being blessed with children. As doctors, they ride a three-wheeled chariot that is pulled by birds. That brings us to a next major god, Surya, the sun god. He's a dominant god of dew, the space. He's all witnessing. He keeps track of all good and bad actions of humans. He rides a chariot of 7 horses. His arrival eliminates all bad dreams and he is prayed for that. That's obvious. You get up and your dreams are gone. And he cures all diseases. A statement in the Rigveda says, stars run away in fear of his arrival. That's arrival of dawn. Many different forms of sun are given a number of suktas within the Rigveda itself. And there are, as you know, some of you all might know and remember, there are 12 names associated with the sun god in Indian culture. Mitra, Ravi, Surya, Bhanu, Khaga, Pushya, Arka, Hiranyagarbha, Marich, Aditya, Savit, and Bhaskar. Some of these are dominant gods independently within the Rigveda itself, and then later on they merged along with the sun god. Some of them I'll talk of as we go along. The Vedic rishis obviously then realized and knew of the importance of the sun even then, 4000 years ago. The next god is Pushan. He's related to the sun god. He's married to his daughter. Uh, he can travel on earth as well as in the Dewlok, that is space. Two regions are open for him. He's the protector of livestock. He brings lost animals back. So he's obviously the god of shepherds. He has curly plaited hair, beard, no incisors. So he can't eat meat. He cannot take away those herds that he's bringing back. But he's said to like pulses and gram, which is a common food grain and a vital part of food in India. He carries a sword and a crook or a pointed stick to goad the animals along. His chariot is driven by goats. And I come to Usha or Ushas, one of the most poetic and romantic suktas, that too in a scripture like Rigved, is associated with Usha. It tells us that even in Vedas, a sense of beauty, not only in verse, but in moods, was also looked into. Usha is dawn, the morning goddess. In the description in this sukta, she is the lover of the sun god. She precedes him. She is the one who awakens everyone. Like a lass lovingly dressed by her mother. She is the daughter of sky, the wife of sun god. She is born every day, so she has eternal youth. She wears a dress of prakash, that is light, and displaying her charms, she rises in the east. Throwing away his rags of darkness, even fire sits up brightly on the arrival of dawn. That is the time when the fires are lit or awakened once more with the arrival of the day. Such a beautiful concept. Her arrival signals the arrival of gods through the yajnas that start off. And so she is called Ushar Buddha. The gods themselves are referred to as Ushar Buddha, the ones who are awakened and brought forth by Usha. These are just a few of the gods that I referred to today. I'll talk of some more next time. If you have liked all this, appreciated whatever I have said, then pass it on to your friends. Like and subscribe to this channel. Till I come back for more number of gods. Namaskar.